Greetings viewers, this is Montomatic coming at you with another review video. Today we'll be reviewing the high-end master model Zoids Lightning Saix from Kotobukiya. A personal note on this one, this is actually my very first Kotobukiya Zoids kit I've ever purchased. I was a fan of the Lightning Saix just because of its sleek design, but back when during the customized mobilized line by Hasbro, I didn't get a chance to purchase that kit at that point, but I'm kind of thankful I did not. I am now a much bigger fan of Kotobukiya posable kits, whereas back then those kits weren't quite posable. So I'm really happy with this purchase. Granted though, this kit is actually the first one, or maybe one of the first few ones. So when Kotobukiya was making a big hit with model kit builders and people who are collectors. That's what I was about to say. Because I know they made another version of this. I'm unsure if they fixed anything with it. I will discuss more about that later. But yes, this was the first Lightning Saix that I got my eyes on. I got this bag, I want to say 2014, maybe 2015, 2016, around that range. But as you can tell from the box, there's some cosmetic damage to the box due to this age. Now, a brief history of the Lightning Saix in media. The Lightning Saix was actually in both Zoids Guardian Force or Chaotic Century, along with Zoids New Century. Let's start off with the Guardian Force, aka Chaotic Century. The Lightning Saix was actually a prototype Zoid created by Dr. D in a series. It was a prototype used by schematics of the ancient Zodian template. Now, the thing about the Lightning Saix is a cheetah type Zoid with that can go high speeds, such as a cheetah on land. However, no pilot could actually operate properly because of his speed, and due to that, it got damaged during a test run, to the point that it actually hit a boulder and the pilot actually ejected himself away from the cockpit. Due to that accident, the combat data was corrupted and could not be repaired. However, during the exact same time, one of the main characters, or really main side characters, Irvin, his command wheel was actually damaged by a run during a battle by Raven, one of the antagonists of the show. Irvin's command wolf body could not be repaired, but the Zoid core or the combat data was still fine. So he was convinced to transport the Zoid core and the battle data to the Lightning Saix, and the Lightning Saix became his main Zoid throughout the remainder of the series. And because of the Lightning Saix, he was able to battle against Raven's Genobreaker at this point. Now that was Guardian Force. As for the New Century, the Lightning Saix was actually piloted by a character by the name of Jack Cisco. He was actually one of my favorite side characters in the series. And Jack Cisco was just a mercenary that will only assist other pilots in Zoid battles if they have a lot of money and that they are lucky. At this point of his introduction, he met Harry Champ, which he had a lot of money and luck was always on his side. Well, with the exceptions of him winning matches, but that's besides the point. Jack Cisco actually piloted a Lightning Saix which went up against Big Cloud's Liger Zero in his Jaeger armor, or Jaeger CAS armor to be exact. But that wasn't the last we've seen of Jack Cisco. In time, Jack Cisco created his own team called a Lightning Team with twin sisters, Chris and Kelly Tasker. Actually, the one thing I'm not so sure they were twins, but they definitely were sisters. Chris and Kelly Tasker also piloted Lightning Saix, respectively, and they actually created a technique called drafting, where all the Lightning Saix were actually in a straight line, and by cutting wind resistance by traveling in that slipstream by the leader. By doing so, this strategy, if it was possible by the rear Zoids to get a brief burst in speed when they are exited inside the slipstream from there. And the lead Zoid who wasn't in the slipstream, would get a significant burst in the speed by being propelled forward from the drag as the other two passed. I know it sounds a little bit confusing, but it deals with air resistance, some physics, and whatnot. Very scientific, if you ask me, but very effective strategy. Because of this technique, they actually won against the Blitz team in the Zoids New Century for the first time they met. However, the second battle they had against each other, the Lightning team actually lost against the Blitz team, but only because at this point, the Blitz team had the Shadow Fox in their team, piloted by Brad, which I did make a video of that Zoid kit some time ago. Be sure to watch that. But that was the Lightning Saix in both Zoids New Century and Chaotic Century. But that's enough about the history of the Zoid. Let's get on to the box. So you can see here, as I mentioned, there is some cosmetic damage just because of this age and moving and whatnot. So we get a closer look. You see here that this is a 1/72 scale full action plastic kit, which so was the Hasbro kits from back in the mid-2000s. They were also 1/72 scale. This Zoid is EZ035, EZ standing for Empire Zoid. The Kotobukiya, the Kawatomi logos, and number 20 in the HMM or high-end master model line. So we get some characters here. And the same image of the front of the box. You have, of course, the Lightning Saix here with the Empire Zoid emblem right here. And you have a Saber Tiger and the Lightning Saix in the back. So you get some other points here. It shows that there is a vent underneath the Lightning Saix, which kind of help with speed. And beneath the vent, there is some propel guns, or propel cannons, really. And on the back of it, you get some missile pods. And with this kit, which to me was very exciting, you can actually change out the pods. So you can keep it at the retract claws. The claws do retract out, and you can also spread them. I'll show that momentarily. And of course, the main rifle on this back can operate properly, and these fins that stick out can also help with speed whenever it gets to those high speeds. Same thing on the other side. And that's enough about the box. Let's get straight to the kit. I almost forgot, before we can get to the kit, here's the manual. And it gives you a good step-by-step process. It gives you all the points of articulation for the kit, along with some the amount of runners that this kit will have. Actually has a pretty good amount for its size. I'll show you that in a moment. And actually pretty simple. It starts off with the head all the way to the body. Continue on with the body from the front and to the back. Get a tail and start off with the legs. And of course, its main weapon. But very simple build, and not too difficult. Yep. And you get a color schematics of all the colors you'll be using in case you want to paint this. Just to match up with the same colors that goes with the kit. And I just want to make a point that depending on how accurate you want it, if you want to paint it just like how it was in the series, you could exchange this green here for his eyes with orange. Because in Zoids Guardian Force or Chaotic Century, the eyes were actually orange due to Irvin's Command Wolf being placed inside the Lightning Saix. Because the Command Wolf eyes were orange only because the cockpit was orange. Or translucent orange, really. Of course, you get all those, see all these things that comes with the Lightning Saix. And with this, you also get a little sheet here that in case you need a new part, you can just fill the sheet up so you can get a new one. I'm unsure about this because, like I said, this kit was, at least when I purchased it, was in the mid 2010s. And you get a water decal sheet as well. You get the Empire Zoid 035 along with the Empire Zoid album right here. And that comes with the box. And with this, now we can take a look at the kit. And here we have the high-end master model Zoids 172 scale Lightning Saix. And just by looking at this, I just love the way how it looks. The sleek design, all the colors do match well. The silver, I want to say it's a dark gray, the crimson red. I love every bit of this. This is, then again, I may be a little bit biased. This was my first Kotobukiya Zoids kit. There is some bias there, I'm not going to lie. But I cannot deny the fact that this looks pretty sleek. Maybe just because of the cheetah design itself. As I'm sure for those of you who are watching this, you know what a cheetah looks like. But a cheetah is very slender, it's very slim, just because of its high speeds of, I would say, roughly 70 miles an hour. And basically the fastest land mammal, so I gotta give it that. So I'm really glad on the fact that Kotobukiya decided to make sure this kit itself was kind of slim as well, just to match up with the cheetah type of it. But with that being said, though, I just like the way how this looks. Not only that, but everything does match well in terms of proportions. I would say that the legs aren't as skinny, which I'm kind of happy about. This is a mech, of course. I'm glad that there was some bulk to it for his legs. And also the pulse laser rifle that's on his back is not too big either. I was still kind of worried about that, but it does match well with his body. So I'm thankful for that. Part of me, I don't know whether or not I'm okay with it. The tail, I feel like the tail should be just a tad longer, but at the same time, I think it does match well too with his proportions. But yeah, this is a pretty sleek design that I'm very pleased about. Now let me show you the articulation of the Lightning Saix, and there are some good points. For starters, the head can go up, can go down, there we go. It can go up just slightly. It can go left and right. The mouth can open pretty well actually. And be careful of these two teeth, they're all a little bit sharp. You do get a cockpit. And I feel like this is a not the first Lightning Saix that came out, because I want to see the first one that came out either had a Irvin or a Jack Cisco figurine. Don't quote me on that, could be wrong. And here's the vent I mentioned. And beneath the vent is a double barrel Vulcan gun. I will say, maybe because of the test of time, this is a little bit loose, if you can see here. Let me close now, but sometimes, okay, maybe it's good now, but sometimes that can be a little bit loose. And on his back, right here, you do have some missile pods, which can be a little bit hard to see, just because I was kind of hoping that these little points here would be red, so you'd be able to see them properly. But of course, with a good steady hand, you'd be able to paint that no problem. Close that up. As for the front legs, it can go all the way. You can move at the elbow. The feet can go all around as well, just up and down. And for these paws, these claws can actually retract. So, you can actually have them out like so. Or what we can do is remove these. And if I can, okay, try not to remove the leg, of course. Excuse me 1 minute. And now you get something along these lines. I will say the open claws on the front paws seem a little bit weird, and this kit actually comes with 4 of them, so I could put them on the back paws as well, but I just find them kind of funny. I get the idea if this was in a pouncing position, but aside from that, I can't really say I like them the way how they are. But to continue with articulation, the back legs can actually move all the way as well. You do get some on the knee here, on the back joint as well. And when you do, you actually see some parts here that can move. This red little flare. And same thing like the front paws, these can move, and they also have rechargeable claws. Go. Gonna leave that there for now. The body can actually move side to side, like so. And if you excuse me, I just had to get the back leg there. So now that's taken care of. Like I said, body can move side to side. The tail only has one joint, and this kit is just falling apart now. And the gun here can actually rotate around, can go down, and can go up. And that's about it for this decapitated kit for articulation. And now for some side-by-side comparisons. Here's a Lightning Saix with the Master Grade Wing Gundam. Usually with the high-end Master Model Shadow Fox. So Shadow Fox is a yay shorter, and in terms of length, I would say the Lightning Saix got him just by a hair. And lastly, here's the Lightning Saix right beside the higher Master Model Command Wolf. So yep, definitely got the height in this, and definitely length too. And that's it for size comparisons. The one thing that is quite unfortunate for this kit is that this kit doesn't really, I did not see any connection port to put on a action base on it. So this cannot connect to an action base, which is a little bit upsetting. I mean, it could be a way if you have a proper connection. I did not see anything that I can use on my action base for this kit, which is sad because I was hoping to place this in some sort of like pouncing position as a cheetah would be in properly. But with that being said, I'll actually get to straight to the point. The good, the bad, and everything else in between with this kit. Start off with the good. This is well proportioned, so I'm happy with that. All the colors match as well with each other. It's definitely accurate to how it was in the anime for both Zoids New Century and Chaotic Century. I really do like this sleek design. That is definitely a good plus for me. With that proportion-wise that I stated before. This is a good and bad. I would say the articulation is good if things work well. As you've seen during this review, that some parts did fall off, which will go into the bad. However, I cannot say too much about it. The only reason is that I know there's a repackaged version of this kit. I am unsure if Kotobukiya has done anything in terms of that, making sure certain parts stay where they must and do not fall off easily. Now granted, as stated in previous reviews, this is a model kit, pieces tend to fall off. But the thing is, will the pieces fall off easily, or just doing articulation or trying to pose it? That is the question that you all need to figure out if this is something worth getting. With that being said, though, is this a kit worth getting? I would say yes, but stated before, get the repackaged version. This one is I don't want to say old, but a little bit dated. This was like I picked this up in the mid 2010s. So I know there's a repackaged version. I'm hoping they have fixed some things in that version. I cannot say verbatim what they may be. But in case you pick this up, the repackaged version, please comment down below so I will know. And I will determine if not, maybe I should get the new one. We shall see. But yes, if you are fans of Zoids, if you're a fan of the high-end master model kits entirely, I do say do pick up this guy up. Thank you all for watching. I've been meaning to review this kit for quite some time, so I'm very thankful that I finally got it done. I finally managed my time to get this taken care of. And if you like what you see, then there are more videos on my channel, and there are more videos to come. I do have an Instagram and a Reddit, links down below. So in case you want to discuss anything on Reddit about Zoids or just model kits, please feel free. Please sure to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Like I said, more videos to come. So again, thank you all for watching, and until next time, keep on building.